You are live on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday Review. I am Nathan, as always, joined by James. How you going, James? What's got you through the week?
What's up?
What's up? No, that's a bit too cringe millennial behaviour. Much like the movie itself.
It ties in.
Yeah.
What made me happy? Oh boy. Imprint, an Australian label, are releasing a new HD restoration of the Tintin animated series from the early 90s, which is
wow, big deal.
Super exciting because I love. It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, that was a
of all
great
time.
show.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit!
So
wow.
I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. That's now that's made me happy.
Yeah.
Too. Also, joined by Callum. What's got you through the week?
Back in the ye olde days, there used to be this thing called E3, which doesn't exist anymore. But the spirit still remains.
The memories I just got, the flood of.
That's it. And so instead of E3, now we get the three big companies do their own little mini event, or other indie associated ones do their own little events.
Sony,
and it's basically
Xbox.
E3, and E3 is upon us, and it was a pretty decent one so far. The Sony State of Play was nice, but what made me happy? Fable getting a release date.
Mm-hmm.
The new Fable.
All the new Xbox announcements are pretty
They
exciting.
were pretty cool.
It was so stacked that I got my Xbox out of storage and I plugged it in.
Nice. Callum was so impressed he plugged it back in.
No, I'm serious.
My Xbox is the only thing I play. All my other consoles have.
I'm a
stopped
PlayStation
playing.
main myself, only because that's where I can buy discs for my games.
That was Xbox, and I guess maybe it's just an Australian problem. I don't know, but if you go into
there's
retailer,
hardly any hard copies left.
They don't even sell that many online either. It's they're and I understand from a logistical perspective, it makes sense to focus on digital.
But it does hurt when you see a wall of PlayStation games and just like
there's just
three
so
Xbox
many.
games.
But even with Nintendo, who release most of their games, it's like sometimes there's not even a game on there. And we're old men.
That's
in
the other
this
thing.
studio.
Yeah, a lot.
When we were
it's
young,
like just a key to download.
When we were
it.
young, you didn't need an internet connection to play video games.
Yeah.
You put the disc in or the cartridge, and off you went.
We've talked about it before. We won't go. I mean, we've already gone off track. But
Yeah.
It's like I don't trust it because,
one day the servers will close and that's
even if it's 20, 30 years, it's like, I just want to play an old Xbox game.
Product.
Yeah.
I can put in a cartridge that I bought 40 years ago in time,
Now that being said, like I said, what made me happy was Fable, which we all love.
Yeah.
February next year, which isn't that far away.
That game's been in development for ever.
Well, that's because they chose to use an engine for a racing game to make a fantasy adventure game. So it is what it is.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, they used the Forza engine initially, and they were like, "Why is the game a little bit weird?" It's like, mate, because it's a what are you
take
doing?
a guess. Anyway, that's what made me happy.
We're going to have to do a whole show on all the games coming out.
Yeah.
But,
anyway,
maybe we can do it on a Twitch stream one day.
Yeah.
Nintendo's conference is tomorrow. They have a 50-minute little thing.
Nice.
It'll be fine, whatever.
I love Nintendo games, but I just don't like the company, and I've completely stopped playing.
Yeah, I
my
mean,
Switch.
even the Switch 2, as time goes on, friend of the show Jake has even told us like it's kind of a mistake.
And he's the biggest.
Nintendo guy because you didn't get that much out of it that you can't get on the regular Switch.
Yeah.
Outside of some of the games playing a bit better. And even
there's not even that many games.
No, even hardcore Nintendo fans will tell you it's been a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah.
Anyway,
moving on. On a very related note, my favorite thing from that whole kind of weekend was the new Spyro game is pretty cool.
Yeah, I got the Reignited trilogy. I still haven't played it. I need to play it.
Yeah, and they're making a new one.
There's a new Rayman coming as well.
That's weird because it's like a
It's sort of like a reboot
remaster.
call.
Yeah, I was like, that's a weird thing to do.
But I'm down. It looks cool.
Same with the Halo remaster
campaign.
Yeah, I was like, what are they doing?
Campaign evolved.
Yeah, I don't know.
But there's a lot of other cool games.
I have a bit of a cop-out answer for what's made me happy this week, and it's just that
That's fine.
Disclosure Day's coming, and I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, tune in next week, everybody.
Friend of the show, Rafal. I was texting him about it because we got him a ticket when we go to see it. And just like, mate, you have no idea how excited I am. Like, this movie at the moment is everything to me.
Even my mum asked me, she's like, are you going to see that? And I was like, hell yeah, we're going to see that.
We bought tickets a week ago.
It's also our culture. As alien guys, it's like
from I guess people have seen preview screenings or whatnot. People are saying like fans of the UFO subject get a lot a lot out of
Well,
it.
even the trailer, there's like
there's
like stuff that's from like a deep dive into ufology in the trailer alone.
Yeah.
So.
And then Spielberg himself is hyping it up, being like, no, most of in that movie is actually real.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's not fiction.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Like, the man is throwing down a gauntlet a little bit.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for
because it's interesting. The whole subject is interesting, and we could talk for hours about it.
And I'm sure we will.
Next week, yeah.
And we will, for sure, next week. But it's so interesting that a man like Steven Spielberg now has come out, and this is the whole thing with media and kind of, I guess, being a person in the public sphere. It's almost an embarrassing subject to talk about, and it's getting a little bit kind of
de-tabooed.
Yeah, it's a bit more mainstream now.
It's a bit more mainstream, but for Steven to come out, and he's not saying, oh, I think there's other things in the sky, whatever, I think there's other life. He's being like, this movie is factual almost, damn it. Like,
it's interesting because we'll talk about this next week because we
the
can
whole
go on.
thing's exciting to me. But
Yeah.
In the release of the movie, he's like, this is fact, fight me.
Yeah,
like, I know more than you. Like, I'm all about it.
I'm just going to put a vibe out into the universe before we go and see it.
Mm.
I want the ending to be like the ending of Killers of the Flower Moon. I want the ending to be Steven Spielberg talking to the
out
audience.
on stage, yeah.
Yeah, just walks out on like the set. And like, ladies and gentlemen, we have a serious thing to talk about. And then he has a little monologue.
Here is the footage I was given 50 years ago for the Holloman landing.
For Close Encounters.
Like, because J. Allen Hynek was in Close Encounters.
Yeah.
Jacques Vallée still around.
He is still
and
around,
Francois Truffaut's character in Close Encounters was based on
Jacques Vallée.
Yeah. But Jacques Vallée wasn't in the movie. But yeah, if you brought like Jacques Vallée or someone like that out to play like himself or themselves. Anyway, like, very exciting.
Again, we're all very excited, and it's got me through some rough times. This movie, but it's one of those things where it's like we don't know anything of the third act of the movie. No one does. So he's kept that allegedly.
I rewatched Close Encounters last night, and the last 30, 40 minutes of that movie is just so incredible.
Yeah,
and I'm setting myself up for disappointment.
We all are, and that's the hype train. No one leaves the hype train unscathed.
As an aside, did you ever see the interview where the interviewee says to Spielberg how his mother was a musician and his dad was a
computer scientist.
Yeah, and then when the aliens come down, it's a meeting of tech and music to communicate, and Steven was like, okay.
He's like, I never thought of that. All these movies about daddy issues and, parents getting divorced and stuff, especially.
That's why The Fabelmans is awesome.
I mean, the whole thing is he's an old man, but The Fabelmans was peak. I'm like, that is a vulgar display of artistic power.
Yeah, especially because
some people thought it wasn't that good, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I have to look up. My memory's not that good anymore, but I have to look up his IMDb. But honestly, it's one of these better movies in the last 10, 15,
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah. I'd say so, yeah. But anyway, we'll move along.
Anyway,
that's not what we're here to
tune in next week.
To be continued
for Spielberg and Alien talk.
Maybe if we go live on Twitch, we'll continue talking about some Alien Mouse.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Keep an eye out in the future for we potentially planning to do live streams.
Yeah, we'll try if we find some time over the weekend to do like this coming weekend to do like just like a test or something.
Yeah.
We'll put
on the socials. Yeah.
If we do, keep an eye on our Instagram because we'll post a story about it and let people know.
Yep.
So just watch our socials. So we'll get straight on into it. I guess we'll talk about the background behind this movie. So the Wayans were involved in the first two scary movie films.
Yeah, so we're talking about the new scary movie. The Wayans brothers did the first two, which were, massive parody kind of hit, like comedy hits. Obviously, the first one was like a parody of Scream. With Ghostface and, like Anna Faris was playing like a Neve Campbell-esque character and it was like the slasher thing. But it had that goofy,
it's the spoof satire, slapstick kind of comedy.
The Zucker Abraham, Zucker sort of airplane or, Naked Gun style, but with a sort of late 90s, early 2000s, raunchy comedy kind of edge to it. And the Wayans brothers, bringing the sort of black sensibility, comedy sensibility to it as well. So that was a huge deal. And the second one, they rushed the second one into production.
I find the first one to be really good. I really enjoyed the first one. I find the second one is hampered a little bit by its single location.
I was always like never a big fan of the second one, and I rewatched them all recently. And yeah, the second one, it's still got some really good bits.
It has the 8-10 minute prologue is peak.
Remind me.
With the James Woods as the
Exorcist. Yeah.
That is peak.
Yeah.
And I will fight someone on the street. That is potentially some of the greatest 10 minutes intro comedy in a long time. No, it is. You rewatched, if the audience listening, just watch the first 10 or so minutes of Scary Movie 2 and let us know.
It's basically its own parody short film of it's got nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
It's just a 10-minute short film parodying The Exorcist, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie kind of falls a little bit.
Yeah. It's just, you can tell once you find out that they rushed it into production, it was basically came out a year after the first one. You can sort of tell, but it's not the worst. It's
No, it's not the worst. I just think it's hampered by basically being in one location for the most of the movie. So that
I do like that they didn't just try to do Scream again, and they're like, it's a scary movie parody. It's a horror movie parody, but now it's the haunted house trope. I'm like, okay, I like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, they don't really go, really into it that much. And
no,
is that the one where the ghost has sex with a girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
I only rewatched the first one, but I remember the second one.
Yeah, the second one has
it has a couple of good moments.
Yeah, I like when Shorty gets smoked by the blunt monster.
Tree, yeah.
And the cat.
The cat fight is also
That's
another
classic.
Great classic scene.
Yes.
Was it Anna Faris's character takes a dump in the cat litter and the cat gets super offended and breaks a glass bottle? And
there's a street fight with the
it's
cat.
very Family Guy-esque, kind of Peter Griffin fights the chicken energy about it.
A brawl,
So there's some good moments in 2, but I think number 1 is vastly better.
The first one is a classic, especially for people our age. It's the perfect.
And I don't know if I was too young and maybe innocent, but I enjoyed it much more than I remember. Maybe it's because I got more of the jokes.
It's weird because
I felt the same about the first.
Yeah, it's weird because when I was a kid, it was Scary Movie was everything. We would quote it all the time and be like, remember this bit, remember that bit. And then I hadn't seen it for a long time, and I rewatched it recently, and I was like, a lot of it for me doesn't hold up that well, but overall, it still really works. And I guess there's a nostalgia factor of oh yeah, this was when we were 10, 11, 12, whatever. It's this is in the playground, we were just remember the bit where it says safe this way and death this way, and she goes to the death side? That's so funny. I don't know why, we just thought it was the greatest thing of all time.
And but even we'll say the more offensive kind of jokes, you don't come at it as a kid from a really mean-spirited, negative way. Miss Man, for instance, in the first one, wouldn't fly today, it would be considered transphobic. And in a way, it is transphobic.
Yeah.
But you're watching that as a kid and you don't think about it that way. You're just that lady has balls. And you're like, that's surface level, you know what I mean?
It was more of an innocent kind of thing where it was it's a funny image on the screen. It's not necessarily, you didn't interpret it as an attack.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a South Park style joke.
Yeah, we talked about it with the other early 2000s sort of comedies. It's just the offensive-ness or whatever. It's I
mean, when you're an innocent kid, you don't think about it that way. You just look at it as a funny thing on the screen.
And people...
Not that I'm endorsing hateful comedy.
Yeah.
But,
and I mean, anything can be funny if you, do it in a certain way. The context is important, obviously.
And we'll come back to this later, but I think the first movie almost dealt with some trans comedy better than in the newest movie.
Oh, 100%.
And I think
because they weren't trying so hard to be. See, one of the problems with the new one is all the marketing was oh, there's no line. We're gonna, and it's dude, shut up.
Yeah,
because now you just sound like old men.
Because in the first one, they're making the jokes because they're funny, they're visually funny. In the second one, they're making these jokes
because they feel like they have to.
Because A, they feel like they have to, and B, because they want to be provocative.
Also, you can tell the writers are boomers or Gen X, I should say.
It's the thing I think we've talked about many times. It's when the Wayans brothers started in the 90s, and Scary Movie came out in 2000. It was they were this young kind of anti-establishment, anti-authority kind of, fresh voice. and 6 years later, and it's like they're like, oh yeah, we're bringing that back. We can do anything we want, and it's just like, dude, you're like old, and it's like it's not the same, and
it's not the same. The energy's different. Comparing, obviously they're not in the same wheelhouse, but comparing the new Naked Gun movie to this movie, I feel like the Naked Gun does it better.
Naked Gun's much better
because it understands the assignment better.
Yeah,
it's like.
They wasn't worried. It was like, oh, we're gonna be offensive. No, it was just like, no. Let's. How funny can we be?
Yeah, and this movie is. It's just how many jokes can we put in that kind of reference horror movies. Some of them don't even. Yeah, really make that.
A lot of
sense.
The new scary movies also. Hey, remember the first movie, or remember the second? Yeah,
or even just remember this horror movie, and there's kind of like a half okay maybe joke about it.
Yeah,
and then they move on. It's like we could have just not had that in there.
Yeah, there's a lot
and
of
just focus on something specific more.
Yeah,
yeah, like the original scary movie did have some kind of member-berry stuff jokes in relation to existing franchises.
Yeah, but that's fine because that's the point.
Yeah.
But that was also early on in those types of films' existence, excluding Naked Gun, obviously.
Well, yeah, it wasn't the first parody, but it was like the first of that new wave.
Yeah. But like a lot of the comedy in the original scary movie was also original. It was like the of course, the gay character. Is it Marlon Wayans' character?
Ray.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he's not gay.
No, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right.
Like, we've seen that, that's now... I needed to go harder with that, or not at all.
Yeah.
Because, we've seen it so...
That shit's still funny when he's like, does this shirt make me look gay?
Yeah,
he's like, no. And he's like,
but in the original...
how about now?
I feel like they handled that way better in the original.
Yeah.
Like, one of the funniest scenes in the original scary movie is the shower scene. Where he's, whipping the guys with the towel. And he's like, I'm coming to get you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just gold. Yeah, and then as you said, the shit scene, what about now?
Yeah.
Even
as a kid, I wouldn't have found that funny. As a grown man...
I always found it funny. I don't know why.
Even the toilet scene with Ray, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
the glory hole.
The glory hole. But even that whole scene, take the glory hole murder out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you've got the urinals there with the game set up, and there's the horse race.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that's genius.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
It's just they tried a bit harder to be funny.
But yeah, so with the new scary movie, we find ourselves X many years later.
Yeah, so the Wayans brothers did the first two, then Miramax, which was owned by the Weinsteins, they fired the Wayans or, whatever.
Replaced them.
And then the third movie was done by David Zucker, who did Airplane and so on. And the third movie I really like. I think it's my favorite one. But yeah, then they did a fourth and a fifth, and yeah, the movies kind of got away from where they originally sort of came from. The fourth and especially the fifth, it's hardly even about horror parody anymore. And it's just they're parodying anything. And they became PG-13 instead of R, which is fine. But it's the raunchiness was gone, which again is not always the best part. Not my favorite parts of those movies. But yeah, it's the series got away from itself. And also after, around that time, they did there was an explosion of parody movies like Date Movie, Superhero Movie, Meet the Spartans,
Not Another
Epic
Teen
movie. Yeah, all these parody movies coming out, and it's it got oversaturated and people started to lose interest, and then that genre completely died out.
I think, and part of the problem is a lot of those films are parodying genres as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Where if you look at the first Scary Movie, for the most part, it's parodying one film.
Yeah.
And I think that's its strength, and that's what they should have done with 6. And they tried to, but the problem with adapting Scream 5 is it's almost too meta to parody. And they should have chosen another horror film to parody as a whole. That's where it falls apart because it becomes a little bit just derivative.
Yeah.
Because that's the point of the Scream 5,
first,
right?
Yeah, the first one's really interesting because it is basically a parody of the first Scream and a bit of second one and a bit of I Know What You Did Last Summer and stuff. But yeah, it's interesting how close it is to the first Scream movie.
And it's focused.
And in that way it works because it's focused. But it's also funny because Scream is already a very meta referential.
And
so it's then you're adding this extra layer and it's sometimes it doesn't always work.
No, and I think that's almost why a lot of these films fall flat a little bit.
Yeah.
And especially
They just
the new
become
Scary Movie.
vignettes of like different movies and different gags rather than there's like not one.
And I think Scream 5 was the worst possible movie to try and do another Scream about, because it's
Scary Movie.
It's very hard to adapt a parody film for, because it's too
already
close to the first.
It's already a meta commentary on like reboots, and then this is an actual reboot of Scary Movie, and then they're trying to parody the story of Scream 5, and it's like references upon meta references, and
it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And I feel like they would have been better served just doing a full feature length on like Get Out or
That's what I was going to say,
something else where there's enough meat that they can tackle it, right? Imagine like a full Get Out spoof.
So
that would have been amazing.
This is
or Sinners, or any, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, this is one of the problems. So now the Wayans brothers are back in control of the franchise. It's been over 10 years since Scary Movie 5 came out. It's 15 years maybe, I can't remember. But yeah, so now the Wayans brothers are back, and that's all the marketing is. It's like, yeah, we're back. It's going to be like the first one. Ghostface is back. It's like Scream again. And, you know, it's going to be raunchy, and it's going to be non-politically correct, and like, you know, we're going to do, and it's like,
but you can do all that, and you can put it in the Sinners. Let's just say you're using Sinners as an example. Yeah. It would have been pretty cool to have a 1920s scary movie set in the scary. And like, you know what I mean?
I'm kind of like, oh yeah, Ghostface is great and everything, and I know he's an important character in the first movie. But do you really think Scary Movie is just a Scream parody?
I mean, look,
like it's Scary Movie. It could be any.
What would have been
movie.
funny is if they only marketed a Scream movie. And that's just the start of the film. Like getting inside a kind of DeLorean, which takes them to the 1920s. Suddenly, it's Sinners.
Yeah, or like Ghostface can still be the bad guy, but like he's the main bad guy at least. But it's like, but they're in a Get Out or Sinners like story. Yeah, it's like Ghostface is just this.
Imagine Marlon Wayans playing both Smoke and
Smoke and Stack.
Yeah, Smoke and Stack.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's so much they could have done.
Another problem with Scary Movie, the new Scary Movie, is that it feels like, you know, they probably wrote the script a long time ago, and then you know, as they get closer and closer to shooting, more horror movies come out, like
they're
Weapons,
shoehorning references in.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to fit as many references in, and then you got like the opening scene, which is a parody of Scream 6. Yeah. But it's all about Tiana Taylor and her like Oscar nomination for One Battle After Another. And I'm like, wow, they must have really done this recently. And yeah, it's just like, it becomes just a series of vignettes of like trying to parody as much as they can recently. And it doesn't really work.
Wayans brothers, hit us up. We can write you a good scary movie.
Give it a go.
We could try,
We could try. Obviously, a lot of the racism humor probably won't be in there. You can add that yourself later.
Yeah.
We'll give you a good structure.
But yeah, in terms of the story, it's like a.
It's kind of stupid because the story doesn't matter. Who cares, really?
Yeah.
But we kind of have to describe it to get into more detail.
Yeah, when you're watching it and you're just like, okay, this is just. Well,
have you seen Scream 5? You know this story.
It starts off with like a Halloween style reference where you have the older Anna Faris
Cindy from the first movie
dropping her daughter off at school or whatever, and is that how it starts?
No, there's
she doesn't drop. She's a shut-in now.
She's a shut-in. She's like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
But there's also like the Final Destination thing where she's got all the traps around her house. Like, and then her daughter, who she's estranged from, like in Final Destination, the newest one, where it's like, oh, we don't talk about the crazy lady, but then it's like, no, she's actually right. Anyway, they bring back all the cast members from the original Scary Movie, except for Shannon Elizabeth, but everyone else comes back.
I wonder why she didn't come back. Maybe they didn't ask her. I don't know.
Maybe they just didn't ask her. Yeah,
because there's a couple people who have died on screen who are in the film.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with these movies is like, it doesn't really matter who dies.
Like South Park.
Yeah, it's just like, bring them back. Like, There's no rules. I mean, and it's dumb comedy, so it really doesn't matter. But I think what does matter is the jokes, and the comedy. And I think like the first half of this movie, for me, the new Scary Movie, was didn't think it was that funny. I think I got a couple of giggles in the first like half of the movie. The latter half was a bit better. There were some more actual funny, like actually laughed at some scenes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought the ending was fun. It gets very meta. But yeah, it does fall back on itself in a way of like, oh yeah, this definitely feels like the Wayans brothers like trying to reclaim, quote unquote, their franchise, and in doing so, not really making the best movie that they could make.
Yeah, I think
that could have been made.
I think it's an interesting thing because I think it's their age more than anything else.
Yeah,
because they're approaching it from the perspective of men who are at least in their 40s.
Yeah. Probably in their 50s.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how old they are. But like there's jokes in there that, like you said, it feels like it was written a while ago. So we're men in our 30s. There were jokes in there that were clearly, like, I understood them, but I'm not sure that maybe the Zoomers would.
But I mean, that doesn't really matter.
No, I'm just talking about like my perception on the screenplay is like it feels like it was a stale script, so to speak. Because I feel like they're writing it from their number one.
It did feel dated already. Like
that's what I'm saying. It felt a bit dated. Like one of my favorite jokes was like the dumb joke was like the world star where someone gets hit and one of the Wayans is like world star, because that's an internet meme that I understood. I thought that was funny. But I'm like, how many Zoomers are gonna get it? I don't know. But I feel like one of the problems of trying to do a movie like this at maybe their age is they're not up to date with like the references. For example, if they wanted to slap with the Zoomers, you know what they needed? 6, 7. There was like that
would have been more cringe than anything in this movie. And this movie had lots of cringe.
Hard disagree.
If you did it ironically, it could be hilarious. That's the thing. It didn't lampoon any kind of culture. It was just making jokes for almost.
I don't know. I mean, there was like a K-pop Demon Hunters reference.
Yeah, that
wasn't even, and that was just kind of slowed the movie down.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't even funny.
I did like the Get Out setup for that though.
Oh, the Get Out sequence just before that is probably the best part of the movie.
The part with Ray is amazing.
Yeah. So, not to spoil it, but there's an excellent bit with Ray and then goes into Shorty with Ghostface and there's this whole Get Out sequence and it's by far the best part of the movie. And I was like, this should have been the movie.
This should have been the whole movie. Yeah, Get Out.
Yeah, it's like this is what they should have been doing. There's no, I mean, yes, there's like the cringy dick jokes and whatever, but it's like also the horror parody. It's also just funny. It's also got that airplane, Naked Gun, slapsticky. It's just like, oh, this is the best.
I did. So I'm not a woke snowflake, as listeners of the show would know. But I did find the trans humor in this film to be kind of mean-spirited. At least, like we were talking about the Mr. Man.
Dated. And that's what
the Mr. Man jokes in the start. Like, yes, okay, maybe some people would cringe now. Look, it was good visual comedy. Or at least in this film, it seems to be kind of like there's a joke where it's like your pronouns will be what? Like they were?
Yeah.
Or you're dead. I'm like, come on, man. That's like
it's
that's
so lazy. And
it's not even a real joke. It's just like boomer humor.
It
like
automatically feels dated. And it's boomer. And it's also...
but it's also like comparing it to the first one, Miss Man was not meant to be a sympathetic character. They were meant to be kind of creepy. They were sniffing underpants. I mean,
there's a whole conversation we could have that will go on all night about how,
trans representation.
Yeah, and like,
that by itself,
Miss Man's a predator, and it's like, does that mean all trans?
No,
it's like, no,
I don't think that's how they were coming at it, but it's unintentionally poor also, now. But I think it's nowhere near as bad as the representation we get in this movie, where it's kind of just mean and aggravated is the wrong word, but it's like everyone just demeans the trans character in this movie.
They're deliberately trying to be provocative or offensive, and it just comes off as like, okay, boomer. Yeah. Like it's like we're all millennials. We all, we just talked about how we used to laugh at the gay jokes and stuff in the first movie, and it's like, but we're also like allies and we think it's important, representation and what language you use and stuff. So it's like we can see both, but it's like, when this stuff happens, it's like if it's funny, then sure, go ahead. But a lot of this stuff just wasn't funny. It was just like,
I'm not saying
you're trans,
like
idiot.
That's it. It's just like, ha, you're trans. That's the joke. I'm like,
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, I understand you don't go into watching a scary movie film expecting civility, right?
Yeah, it's not a highbrow.
No, it's not highbrow.
Yeah.
But having said that, the trans jokes are just really, really kind of beneath them. And
it just wasn't. It's lazy. It's outdated, and it's a bit mean spirited, and it's just like, we don't care.
Like you could have just left this all out, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's. There are a lot of people saying, how awful it is, and then you've got the people saying, well, what'd you expect? It's a scary movie. It's like, Look, and I kind of understand that, because it's like, we knew what we were going to get.
It wasn't the worst thing. I've seen people treat them worse on screen.
No. I just mean in general, the whole movie.
But I'm like, I just think that you can have trans jokes in these films, but I think that they could have had it. The trans character barely exists as a character in the film. Their entire existence is to be a punching bag for the other characters. I feel like if you're going to have that character be in the movie, at least give them a sense of agency and a purpose other than being the snarky queer person who is also the person bullied by everyone else in the film.
Again, the story doesn't really matter. The characters, it's just all in service of the comedy. But it's like you have all these new characters, don't care about them. Then you've got the classic characters, and it's like, oh yeah, we like seeing them. It's great and whatever. And it's just like the Wayans brothers trying to reclaim the story, and it's just like
the new characters they kind of dwindle away.
Yeah, it's like we
didn't need them.
I mean, I know it's a dumb comedy, but it's like when it's not that funny, and you don't care about anyone on screen, and you don't even like remember their names or whatever. It's like, okay, at least the new Naked Gun, it's like it had a plot and a through line, and you had main characters and a villain and whatever.
And it was very funny.
Yeah, and most importantly, it was very funny. Whereas,
much funnier than Scary Movie.
Yeah, the new Scary Movie was
I remember when we saw The Naked Gun, we laughed pretty much consistently throughout the whole runtime, even if it was just little chuckles.
Yeah.
I still remember that thing where his dad is the owl. Amazing.
Oh, yeah, towards the end.
Yeah.
And the whole snowman
sequence is the
We're
best.
just Alan's just holding off a dear life, trying to survive the scene.
Absolute best sequence. Yeah.
Anyway.
So
there's nothing like that in this film where I was like, oh, I can't believe how funny this is.
Yeah. So I think, I just mean like, the reaction is obviously there's a lot of negative reaction, and then you've got people like trying to defend it. And it was like, oh, well, it's just a scary movie. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be dumb. I'm like, but it's not really funny. And it's a
part of it is part of it based on, I guess we'll say, industry trend, where they're like, we want to make it provocative for marketing to get people to go and see it to reboot the franchise, or do they just genuinely think it's humor?
I think like we were just talking about, like the Wayans are older now, and they're like, this is our humor from the 90s, and like we're bringing it back.
What they think their humor from the 90s.
Yeah, it's like we're sticking it to the man, and it's like.
But the whole thing makes me wonder. I'm like, well, did they write this just to be edgy, or did they actually find it funny?
Probably both.
Probably a bit of both, and maybe that's part of the problem as well, is like the edgier they're trying to be, the less funnier. And when they are trying to be funny, they are funny, because there is some funny bits in the movie.
So I think what's going to be interesting is to see, I don't know how well this movie's done in cinemas. I assume pretty well.
I think it's doing well, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they make another movie, if it's any better.
Apparently they're thinking of it, yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how, we'll say, aggressively obnoxious the next one will be compared to this one, if they're not trying to prove themselves to a studio or the audience.
Well, from what they've said, the next one they're going to lean into, like they've already got plans about what movies they're going to be spoofing in the next one. Apparently it's like Obsession and Backrooms are going to be key focuses.
Well, I mean that they're the
sense.
most.
Yeah, they probably just Google which movies made the most money, and then
you'd have to,
right?
But like, because they've been talking about doing White Chicks 2 or whatever, and it's just like. It's clear that, the Wayans brothers had their time in the 90s and 2000, like early 2000s, whatever. And then they went away, and Hollywood changed. Mainstream comedies weren't really a thing. R-rated comedies weren't really a thing anymore. And now they've come back, and it's like, awesome. But they're just like harping on what they've already done. Like they're doing a scary movie reboot basically, and the White Chicks 2 apparently, and it's like, why don't they do an original movie?
Well, that's what I mean. I think it's going to be interesting to see where maybe if they don't feel like they have to be intentionally provocative to get a reaction, because reactions drive engagement. we'll see.
Just make a good film.
Yeah. I think when we talked about the new Naked Gun, I was like, yeah, this is great. And yes, I would love to see these type of spoof comedies come back to the big screen. But my main worry was it's like this only kind of exists as a mainstream release spoof movies because it's got the Naked Gun brand recognition. And it's the same with this Scary Movie. It's like the only reason this is a big mainstream, cinema release movie spoof is because it's a part of the Scary Movie franchise. I was like, well, yeah, we want more of these movies, but we want original spoof. Well, original spoofs are already kind of based on things, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and I don't think we're going to get that because Hollywood doesn't work that way.
No, not anymore.
Especially when they have to spend money on like a bit more money than usual, like on something. So
I think the best we can get is like a streaming release, at best.
Of a parody.
Yeah, like a parody movie.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting. Look, you know what? We might go to a very quick break and come back with my mind-shattering idea.
Okay.
Right after these quick messages. You are back live on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday Review. I was just saying during the break, my mind-shattering idea to bring back the kind of parody spoof movie genre. Like we could have like not another Netflix original movie or not another Netflix movie, where it's like your audience is baked into that service. And, maybe the whole film is lampooning different kind of Netflix properties. From a pure capitalistic corporate perspective, it works because then you're driving engagement for those related shows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all a bit soulless, but...
it could work because, after you've parodied all the genres, then it's like, oh, let's parody the streaming content that's...
or not another Disney Plus movie, like, right?
Yeah, it's like streaming slop, the parody movie.
So I'm like, that's a way forward for the genre, I guess.
Yeah, but, I mean, once you do one, it's like...
That's it.
That's it. But, I mean, it could work. I mean, anything could work, I guess, in theory. Like,
they just need original screenplays. Come on, guys.
Yeah, just make some original comedies. Please.
Yeah, I mean, or just original comedies coming back to...
Or just lock in, mate. Just lock in, boys. Come on. You got this. Just lock in.
Yeah. But comedy's hard to sell tickets for. That's why all these horror movies are coming out, because they're guaranteed almost to make $1 billion.
Well, yeah, especially like horror and horror comedy.
And
cheap.
It's
easy, cheap and easy. Yeah, but I mean, comedy should be cheap.
Yeah,
but
I think the risk with comedy is no one goes to the movies to see a comedy, because you know what comedy is now? Comedy is a Marvel movie.
Yeah, and we've talked about before with like, you watch Happy Gilmore, the original, and you're like, yeah, this is no Citizen Kane. It's no like cinematographical, is that a word? Masterpiece. But you're like, oh yeah, this is a movie. There's locations,
and they used to be shot nicely still.
Yeah, they were shot. It was colorful, and there's lots of people on screen, and cars, and sports, crowd scenes, and golf, and slapstick, and wordplay, and da da da. And then fast forward 25 years, and you get Happy Gilmore 2, and it's straight to steaming slop. It looks like sludge. There's like, it feels like a COVID movie. There's like 3 people on screen, and it's not funny. It's just a bunch of cameos. And I think that's the thing now, is like, even when they make comedies, they just put no money, no effort in, regardless of who the big main star is, regardless of who who's putting the money into it.
Well, and we've talked about this before. It's because the industry's changed, and now people, when they go to the movies, they expect to see either scares or something big budget, like Project Hail Mary. They expect to see money on the screen.
Yeah,
and with comedy...
But also what we've been seeing is that, like, Obsession and Backrooms, yes, they're both horror movies, so that's the whole, feeds into the whole horror, always does well because it's low budget. But it's like, we don't need these mega blockbuster $300 million movies that look like shit, and that people don't like end up going to see. It's like, it's that negative feedback loop where the theaters and the studios don't think they're going to recoup their money at all for comedy because no one want to go see them. Yeah.
So it's like,
it's also, we've talked about before,
it's that cognitive dissonance. They're never going to release it to the theaters because don't reckon they'll get their money back, but they won't know because they won't do it.
Yeah, we've also talked about before, it's like cost of living is so high, just everything is so awful now that it's like, to spend your hard-earned money on a movie, which costs so much money to go out to the movies.
Look, are you really going
We're not
the average film enjoyer, But I'm like,
No,
if I
but
saw an
most
R-rated,
people-
most people, if we saw an R-rated movie at the cinema,
Yeah.
we'd be there.
Yeah, but like most people, it's like, yes,
Comedy.
I can understand that. Yes, if a movie like Happy
Mm.
Gilmore came out now on the cinema, it's like, yeah, or you can either do that or you can wait a couple of weeks and see the new Marvel or new whatever. Or the new Disney animated thing. It's like, yeah, you're gonna save your money.
And the other part of it also is when you're releasing an adult comedy, say an MA in Australia or an R in America kind of comedy, you have that other barrier of entry where if it's a comedy movie, people are going to want to bring their young kids. They're going to want to bring their families, as they do to movies we've seen recently, which weren't children appropriate, right?
Yeah, but I mean...
And then they're going to complain, and it's a whole lot of headache you don't need.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, we've talked about they used to have R-rated, like there used to be
but people don't care anymore.
Yeah, well, what's it called? A
rating system.
No, a different, a variety.
Yeah,
there used to be a variety of genres, variety of movies for different audiences. There used to be PG movies for kids. There used to be PG-13. There used to be R. Now it's like everything's PG-13. Because everything has to play to the widest audience possible.
And then when it's not, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, I was too young for this period of time. I mean, I wasn't, but like the 90s.
Mm.
But it's like, remember in the 90s, like they were just releasing legal thrillers of the movies.
We've talked about it many times.
Like
we talked about it.
Bizarre.
Like, in the mid-90s, you could see Dunstan Checks In, or you could see Heat.
Yeah,
or it's like Heat would be a Netflix original that looks like garbage.
And you could Primal Fear.
And Dunstan Checks In wouldn't even get made because they wouldn't have the monkey.
But like
Primal Fear came out of the movies.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
7.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I remember
Angel Heart. Remember, we always talk about Angel Heart because we're like,
can you imagine
that would be
that
would be a tiny neon A24 movie, and at best it would be like a Long Legs-esque, like 3 characters and a weird guy.
I really like that movie, and it's like one of our dad's favorite films. And
Angel Heart, yeah.
And then we showed it to Alum, and then he was like, "You took me to see this weird incest movie." I'm like, "That's the message you get from it, ultimately."
He's very weird when it comes to movies in general, but like any sort of...
I was like, it's like a sick noir supernatural horror
it's literally
film.
like this guy... Oh, anyway. We won't go. But we've talked about it many times before. That the industry is completely different, especially in terms of comedy.
Even relatively recently, you know, I guess the industry got a slap when they released a Deadpool movie, and it was, you know, rated R and in the American rating. And everyone. I remember being in the theater and overhearing an employee trying to console a mum who was like, "I took my child to see this and it was filthy."
That's also people are stupid.
That's
same thing
into what I'm saying.
when we saw Paul. He plays
the alien.
Yeah. A lady took her child to see Paul, and it's clearly not a children's film.
No, that feeds into what I'm saying is that people don't care and they expect every movie based on vibes to be a children's movie.
But
or
also,
not.
like people.
So it's not the 90s. There is less.
There's more access to things than there has ever been before. So,
but also
trailers,
in a way, Broomer hat on, less common sense.
Yeah, but that's probably it. Yeah. No, but because like you can see trailers, you can look up reviews, you can do so many easy things just on your phone or whatever. So there's no excuse for parents who just we didn't know.
Yeah, so I guess it's hard to release a mainstream adult comedy now because the barriers are also kind of a bit harder. You know,
but also like we talked about before, it's like we shouldn't have to play to the lowest common denominator in order, you know, to get stuff released. It's like make a good movie, people will come to it.
100%.
Yep.
And it'll stand the test of time.
And look, that still proves true at your niche cinema houses. Like, you know, recently we talked about Brunswick Picture House.
Well, that's different because there's always obviously the smaller
the arty-farty cinemas.
But I'm just talking about in terms of mainstream
theaters,
Hollywood, you know, releases. But anyway, Scary Movie 6, which is just called Scary Movie because that's like the whole joke is that it's a reboot and they're just using it.
It was okay.
If I was in a worse mood, I would just give it 2 stars. For the most of the runtime, I was like, this is a bad movie. But there were a couple bits where I liked, especially the Get Out bit. There's a Jermaine Jackson joke, which I laughed at. But yeah, I was just like, there's a couple bits I like. Maybe I'll give it a 2.5. You guys liked it a bit more than me.
I ended up rounding mine down to 2.5 after I'd slept on it.
I quite liked it. I gave it 3.5, which is... I know it seems high for this film because I'll be honest, a lot of the jokes didn't land.
Yeah.
But I did like the fact that they brought back Doofy, Officer Doofy, reporting for duty.
I have a problem with Doofy.
No, I know he's not. He's a bit rusty.
No. I feel like they made him too smart in this movie.
Yeah.
He craps his pants in the first movie.
In the first movie, he essentially needed his hand held everywhere. Right? He's more competent in this movie than he should have been. In my opinion.
I agree.
I did like he does have that little kid's toy camera.
The body cam.
That's a body cam. I thought that was a good joke.
Yeah.
See, there are like peppered some good stuff in there. But yeah, also like the actor was a bit rusty.
Not even that. I just feel like they made Doofy too intelligent in this movie.
Yeah,
he was much less functioning in the first movie.
Also,
and again, maybe that's not correct now, but it was funny. Damn it!
Like in like some other scary movie. Scary Movie 5 or whatever, and other parody movies and other comedies, it's like sometimes they bring back the same actors but as different characters. Like they should have done that. Made Scary Movie 6, but it's like all the Wayans and all the main cast, but it's like it's a Get Out parody, or it's a new take on
exactly. One of the actors from Scary Movie 2, the guy with the
little hand.
Chris Elliott.
Yeah. He comes back as like a long legs cameo.
And they like cut out pretty much all of that sequence and put it in the end credits.
I did like the scene where they immediately go to the innocent black man. I thought that was funny. The police when they get called to the scene, that was funny.
Like Chris Elliott's hilarious. He's one of the highlights of Scary Movie 2. And then they bring him back in this movie, but then they cut out all these scenes except for one, and then they just
I did like that sequence. I liked when they kept going to the FBI because you're psychic, right?
Yeah,
that was funny.
See, that was like funny stuff. I'm like, and they left it in the credits. And it also had nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
I gave it a good rating because I would honestly watch it again.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed seeing the Wayans on screen. I thought both the leads did.
Both of them. Marlon as Shorty is always funny. I think this movie might have too much Shorty.
Well, how did you do the laugh?
Yeah, no, you got
can't
close.
even
shit, son.
He's like my favorite part of the first one as well. I like him a lot.
He's amazing, but I think he works as a sidekick side character, whereas this one almost has too much with him.
I would agree.
I think Ray is really funny. Like Shawn Wayans as Ray is
he's the best.
Even though there's some awful really knuckle dragging trans jokes and stuff. The sort of Ray is a closet gay is still funny.
It is funny, and it's the reason why Always Sunny is so funny until they made Mac come out as gay.
Yeah,
I think it's the thing is because Ray's humor is not necessarily based on homophobia.
Yeah.
Because it's like they don't denigrate Ray because of it.
It's the funny thing is he's obviously gay, but he's trying to hide it.
Yeah,
but he's doing such an awful job.
Yeah,
and
like that Get Out joke where he's running.
Yeah, that's the best. Let's not spoil that.
No,
joke,
but that's the best. That's the best. Yeah, like that. So I think maybe a bit more Ray, a bit less Shorty. Maybe the new characters. I mean, but do we really care about the new characters when we just want to see Cindy and Brenda anyway? And it's like Ghostface. Oh, the other thing I didn't like, I actually leant over to Nathan during the movie and I said, I love in the first movie where Ghostface, his mask changes depending on his mood. So we would laugh or whatever and it would change. But it's like this movie, his mask stays the same the whole movie except for the one time where he gets high with Shorty. And I was like, oh, that's really disappointing. There's so many opportunities for them to do the different.
And it would be kind of a cheap. Surely it's just the other mark. Like, wouldn't be cheap. Yeah. It would be a cheap thing to do, even in post.
Yeah, it's like we just talked about. It's like they just don't spend the time and money on these movies like they used to, or maybe they just completely didn't think about it. I don't know, but it's just disappointing in that way. But
like I'd watch it again. I would still be interested in seeing a sequel if they make another one.
Yeah, especially as we discussed, if they ground it in parodying.
Pick one.
Or even just two. Like I said, the idea of Obsession and Backrooms, you could connect those two to make a cohesive parody film. At
least have some sort of direction and through line, and have main characters and side characters.
Don't bog yourself down with fresh characters, because unless you're gonna make them real characters for the story.
Yeah, and as fun as it is to go like a Family Guy cutaway to, hey, remember this joke, and hey, this is worse than the time that I did this, and then cut to a vignette of something that's completely unrelated. It's like, maybe try to fold those jokes back into the main story. I don't know. I mean, people might say we're like over intellectualizing it, but it's like, yeah, what's funny is funny, and this movie mostly just wasn't funny.
Yeah, and it's like we can, you can say, oh, well, it's a scary movie film. What do you think? And it's like, yeah, well, this movie doesn't work for the same reasons that The Naked Gun worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I think The Naked Gun is a good example of a reboot that worked, that I still had problems with, and I didn't think it was amazing, but it's like, oh,
but if you put these movies back to back,
yeah, if you're gonna update
even the original Scary Movie back to back with this one, it's like at least I feel like the original Scary Movie story was more cohesive.
Yeah, 100%. Like we said, it was
you still had those cutaway style jokes, but they were fairly original. Like you were saying, like they weren't like straight ripping, like the Shannon Elizabeth scene with the danger and living. Like that's it wasn't not as original in quotation marks, but it's also not like a straight up rip off of something else.
Yeah, and the vignettes or whatever in the first couple of movies weren't as jarringly separate from the rest of the story.
Yeah.
And the rest of the movie. Yeah.
Anyway, that's about all the time we have for tonight.
Yeah.
We're on some of the social media garbage on at Tuesday Review on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Newsmaster, and Blue Sky. We're also on YouTube at Tuesday Review AU. Please keep an eye on our Instagram specifically, because we're going to try and do some Twitch streaming over the next week or two.
Yeah. Keep an eye for that. Like and subscribe to YouTube.
If we can work the computers, it'll also get uploaded later onto YouTube.
Yeah.
But we're going to try something different. Something maybe to engage with the audience a little bit.
Yeah, I know we say this every year, but it's like we're going to try and be engaged a bit more. And
I think Twitch streaming, maybe just talking about movies, what comes out, what trailers we've seen. It could be something bit of fun.
There's potential for a gaming.
Yeah.
You can send us hate mail at contact@tuesdayreview.com.
Yeah. We got a new email. And make sure you tune in next week for a special Spielberg Alien UFO. That's going to be a good one.
Yes.
Insert alien clicking noises here.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I can't do those.
Yeah. We're on Letterboxd. I'm Nathan B _90.
I'm channeldrifter.
And I'm Callum Tuesday.
And Alum's is Alum20. And we'll be back next week.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Adios, cousins.